Hey everyone, Zach Tucker out here at Glenn High School getting you ready for our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals game of the week. This week it's Reagan at Glenn. It's time to go inside the headset with both coaches. Joining us now we have Bobcats head coach, Coach Green. Coach, the Bobcats are off to a 2-2 start on the season.
Right.
Just kind of fill me in about how we've gotten to this point.
Yeah, we guys started off strong right out the gate, and we play a tough non-conference schedule. We was able to get some wins, and we took some losses, but we learned from them, and we're now in CPC play, ready to play some football.
We're going to have a lot of cameras at Glenn on Friday night for our F&R game of the week.
Right.
Just kind of tell me about some of the playmakers that the fans can expect to see.
Yeah, Joe Hayes on the offensive side, Brady Robinson, Jazier Dixon, Craig McGee on the defensive side. Borhan Himadou is a defensive tackle for us. TK King, outside linebacker. Isaiah Buford, inside linebacker. Jazier Dixon on the defensive backside. So we have a lot of playmakers on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, now you've been an assistant coach here at Glenn for a number of years, take over the head coach spot.
Right.
What's that transition been like for you?
Yeah, so for me, it's just been a smooth transition, especially when you have a lot of familiar faces on your staff. I'm about half and half new, half retained. So it's been a smooth transition. The only difference is I get a couple more phone calls now with my athletic director. But other than that, it's been a smooth transition, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity.
Yeah, now big time conference matchup on Friday against Reagan. Tell me a little bit about the Raiders.
The Raiders are a hard-nosed group. Coach McGee does a fantastic job of having his kids ready. The CPC is a tough conference, so every game is a game that you have to come out and battle test, and you have to be ready. So the Reagan Raiders are a good team, and we're ready for the opportunity.
And it definitely will be a battle, and a lot of people have talked about the weather this week. Do you think that could play a little bit of a factor in this game?
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to take care of the football. Weather, football is played outside, so at times you just have to go with the flow, if you will. So yeah, the weather could be a factor in the game, but the biggest thing is just making sure you take care of the ball and all the things, your three phases of football to be able to win a football game.
And as we mentioned a little bit ago, this is your first year as the head coach here at Glenn, and I want to give the chance for the community to learn a little bit more about you. So I want you to finish this sentence. If I were not the head coach at Glenn, I would be blank.
If I was not the head coach at Glenn, I would be a strength and conditioning coach at the collegiate level.
Okay.
Yep. So I love being around athletics, and I'm big in the off season and the strength conditioning programs, and so that's what I'll probably be doing somewhere around there, just yelling at kids and just trying to get them bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah, well, Coach Green, one of our big sponsors is the Carolina Classic Fair. The fair actually kicks off next week over at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. So I've got to ask you, Coach, what is your favorite thing about the fair?
Family and food. You don't get this size for nothing. Family and food. I'm big on just being around my family and then going to the fair and getting on some rides. Not myself, but my daughters getting on the ride. So yeah, family and food and just taking in the whole atmosphere.
Yeah, now we've got of course, the Glenn icon right behind us, the water tower.
No place like it.
Just kind of tell us about the atmosphere at Glenn for those who might not be familiar with the program.
Yeah, it's a small town atmosphere. The town kind of shuts down for football on Friday nights, and so the town of Kernersville is blessed to have the Glenn Bobcats playing on Friday nights, and so it's just been great to have to coach in a town like this and in the town of Kernersville, and so the town just shuts down. Everybody's here to support them, and it's just a good feel.
And Coach, what is your final message to all the Bobcats fans out there before kickoff on Friday?
Yeah, just come out, support the kids, and just be prepared for a good football game.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Coach Green, and good luck on Friday and the rest of the way of the season.
Yep, go Bobcats.
All right, let's send it over to what's happening over at Reagan. All right, well, we are out here in Poptown at the home of the Reagan Raiders, joined now by Coach McGee. And Coach, your team is off to a 2-2 start in the season. Just kind of tell me about how we got to this point.
Yeah, we opened up the year with two big wins at home against Marvin Ridge and Mooresville. Played extremely well. Unfortunately, at the end of that Mooresville game, we lost our quarterback to an ACL, and so coming off of that ACL, then we go into Grimsley and East Forsyth. So, two challenging weeks in itself, and we learned a lot about ourselves in those 2 weeks, and playing some guys that probably aren't ready yet, but they're competing their butts off, and just really proud of our effort to this point.
Talk a little bit more about some of the key playmakers that we can see on Friday night.
Yeah, I think Jerry Summers is where you start. Jerry for the first 4 weeks has been one of the best players on the field, whether it's offense, defense, special teams in the return game. Phenomenal football player. Defensively, Leo Houseworth-Jacek is our inside linebackers. I think he's averaging double-digit tackles every week. Tremendous leader on that side of the ball. Freshman running back John Evans has been a key point for our offense, and a guy that's kind of really bursted onto the scene. And obviously our line play has been effective this first 4 weeks, and so those guys continue to develop and get better.
And as you just mentioned a little bit ago, unfortunately, injuries are part of football sometimes, and QB1 Jacob Smith went down earlier this season with an ACL injury. How is Jacob doing, and how has your team responded?
He's doing great. His mindset, he's a winner on and off the field, and he's already had his surgery, so he's into his 2-day-a-week rehab process, and he comes to practice. He still comes to the game. He's up in the booth. He's a leader, and he's still the leader of our football team. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a gut punch for our program. That's a tough one to overcome. Not only is it your quarterback, but it's your leader. And so our guys have really rallied around each other the last couple of weeks. But to say it hadn't been a tough pill to swallow, that'd be a lie. So it's been tough, but it's something that we work through each week, and we're going to get better each week.
Now, a pivotal game on Friday against Glenn, a conference matchup. The last 10 matchups between Reagan and Glenn have been 5 apiece for each school, so pretty even in the series overall. Tell me a little bit about the Bobcats.
Yeah, a tough football team. Coach Green in his first year, I think he's doing an outstanding job as a leader of that program. Their quarterback came from our program last year, so Brady's doing a great job of managing and running the offense, and they're always going to play great defense. So that's the one thing about Glenn. They're going to be tough, they're going to be physical, and playing over there is a challenge. So it presents a challenge for us, and we've had 2 really good days of practice, and looking forward to a third great practice today.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Coach Green taking over the helm over at Glenn. He actually went to Winston-Salem State, and I know that you did as well. So what's it going to be like facing off another member of the Ramley on the sidelines on Friday?
It's cool, man. There's Rams all over the place, and it's really cool that he and I get this opportunity to compete against each other. And I think we both have such great memories of our time at Winston. And again, I'm really happy for him and the success he's having so far.
Now, of course, we've got the football game on Friday, but it seems like the big talk of the week has been the weather, and you can see it's cloudy even as we do the interview right now. But do you think that the weather could play a little bit of a factor once kickoff?
Yeah, I think so. Weather's always, it always plays a factor, but it's also something that you can't control. And I think you take some measures in practice to ensure that you're handling, wet footballs, and you're understanding how to keep your feet up under you a little bit. But it definitely plays a factor in kind of what you want to do, especially on offense. But also defensively, trying to tackle a soaking wet individual is a challenge. And so it does create some challenges, but at the end of the day, we're still going to play, and it's still going to be a 48-minute game, and hopefully we can come out on top.
When you think about over the course of your coaching career and even back to your playing career, has there ever been any crazy experience playing a game with really weird weather?
Nothing really jumps out at me. Just kind of really bizarre. But obviously we played in a lot of rainy games. I remember a game in high school. I think it was against North Forsyth. It was actually homecoming that was just a wash. And it, as a quarterback, it's definitely not what you want to be a part of because you can't throw it around a little bit. But I think it forces you to focus on the little things a little bit more. Ball security is ramped up a little bit. But hey, it happens in all outdoor sports, and you just deal with it.
Yeah, now one of our big sponsors for the F&R games this year is the Carolina Classic Fair. Gets underway next week over at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. So I've got to ask you, Coach, what is your favorite thing about the fair?
Definitely the food. At this age in my life, I don't ride any rides anymore. My 2 older kids are in high school, so they don't do it as much, but my 7-year-old still enjoys it. But the food for me is always the best, and every year I kind of go in knowing what I want to eat, and I come out eating something completely different. So it's all good, and it's always fun.
Yeah, any foods in particular that stand out to you?
Yeah, everything. I just like it all. It's you get some of the fried food with the donuts and the burgers. Those things kind of don't appeal to me altogether, but I can't even pick one thing out.
All right, well, Coach McGee, what is your final message to all the Raiders fans out there before kickoff on Friday? Yeah,
just grateful for our fans. Last week here, this was an unbelievable atmosphere, and unfortunately we didn't play to our standard, and didn't, I think, give those guys what they deserve to see. But our fans are awesome. Our students are great. Support is always great here, and we're certainly looking forward to the fans this Friday night, even in the rain, and moving forward.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks so much for your time, Coach McGee.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and good luck on Friday and the rest of the way this season.
Thank you.
All right, well, for more Inside the Headset content, subscribe to the ABC 45 YouTube channel.